the best place in outer space. Kids Planet! I'm Nova, and I'm going to take you on a ride that is sometimes very smooth and fun, and sometimes very bumpy and uncertain. Fasten your seatbelts because we're taking off in 3, 2, 1. Here we go! Every day we experience new things. New people, new adventures, new foods, and new emotions. Emotions are the feelings that we have inside. Emotions can feel like a ride inside our bodies because they often change quickly and sometimes unpredictably. But the more we experience them and learn how to navigate them like a heroic sea captain, the more we can enjoy and appreciate them in ourselves and others. Let's start our adventure. No peeking. We're traveling on our imagination to where we believe our emotions come from. Imagine we're deep inside of you, the place where all emotions come from. Maybe inside of your mind, or maybe from inside your heart. Or both. Let's all imagine that we see hundreds of puppies. Puppies everywhere. How does that make us feel? It makes me feel very happy. I remember when I got my dog Comet as a puppy and got licked all over my face. Okay, now how about we pretend to walk through a door and... Do we feel the same as when we saw the puppies? Or maybe just a bit different? I would feel happy and a little excited too. How about you? And what's the opposite of happy? Right! Sad. We can be sad because we hurt ourselves falling down. Or we can be sad because someone hurt us with their words. Either one feels really bad. Okay, small warning. Now it may get a little spooky. Everyone might feel scared of something from time to time. I'm afraid of spiders. My best friend Galaxy is afraid of snakes. Sometimes you might feel a little scared if you're standing in front of your class reciting a poem or sharing a project, right? Sharing in class is a great thing to do, but it can also make us feel emotions in our bodies. And if we feel scared, sometimes we might get sweaty, our throats might get dry, or we might feel jittery, like we ate too much candy. Has that ever happened to you? It's okay if it has. Sometimes certain situations can make us feel scared, but that should never stop us from sharing. Part of growing up means facing our fears. Anyways, that feeling we get of fear is called... It's called a... Whatchamacallit? Curious, I'm feeling lost. I need you. Can you help clear things up? What is it called when you feel fear in your body? Right! It's called an autonomic reaction. What? An autonomic reaction is a reaction your body has when you feel fear. Your brain sends important chemicals through your veins in case you need some extra energy to help you when you sense danger. Even if you're just nervous. Our Planet big word phrase of the day is autonomic reaction. There's another chemical reaction when we feel love. Our bodies fill with different chemicals when we feel love. Those brain chemicals make our bodies feel happy and warm. It's like when a mom or dad holds their baby for the first time. Next stop, the land of anger. Anger is probably one of the least admired emotions. We all get angry sometimes, but if we don't control anger, it can really get out of hand quickly. Can you think of times when you were angry? One time, my mom yelled at me for something my brother Neutron did. And that made me really angry. I wanted to scream. I didn't know how to tell her that I didn't do it without getting my brother into trouble. But I also didn't want to be blamed for something that I didn't do. Once you're in the land of anger, it's hard to come out of it unless you know the way. When we come back, we'll talk about how to identify what emotions you're feeling and how you can navigate the land of anger without getting into trouble. I'll show you the way to come out on the other side. But first, it's time for a Nova quiz. What is the best way that we can express how we're feeling to someone else? We can A. Stare at the person. B. Use our words. C. Ignore the person. See if you can think of the answer. We'll be right back with more Kids Planet! Welcome back! Ready to have some more fun? Yay! Me too! Let's learn the answer to our Nova quiz. Remember the question? What is the best way that we can express how we're feeling to someone else? We can A. Stare at the person. B. Use our words. C. Ignore the person. Curious, the answer, please. The best way we can express our feelings to others is... Ooh, I can feel the excitement. B. Use our words. To introduce this idea, here is the poem by Jamie Gerard, I Use My Words. Goodness, I am angry. It makes me want to shout and stomp and wear a mean face to let the anger out. Instead, I use my words to say what I am mad about. Goodness, I am sad today. It makes me want to cry and pout and whine and whimper and sniffle, sob, and sigh. Instead, I use my words to tell everybody why. Goodness, I am happy. It makes me want to run and go wild and act all crazy until the day is done. Instead, I use my words, 'cause that way we can all have fun. When my feelings get too strong, I know it's time to say, I'll use my words to show how I feel in a safe and healthy way. We know now that the best way to express our emotions is by using our words. But how do we know what we're truly feeling? Curious, I feel like I need some help on this one. Sometimes it's not so clear. Maybe we feel a little sad, but kind of angry too. It's not always easy. Hey, I'm feeling like this is going to be a planet list. That makes me feel excited. Learning always feels rewarding. We can figure out what we're feeling inside if we 1. Look in the mirror. What does your face look like? Does it look sad? Happy? Confused? There are so many emotions that we can have at any given moment. I always look a little red in the face when I'm angry. Everyone around me knows it. 2. Take a quiet moment and think. Sometimes it takes just a few seconds to know how we feel inside. Maybe you feel queasy because you're nervous. Or maybe you feel jittery because you're scared. Or maybe you feel like you have butterflies in your stomach because you're excited. Once you know how you feel, then you might be able to address it in a positive Kid Planet way. But what if you're still not sure how you're feeling? Believe me, it can happen. Once, I spent hours feeling down and tired and couldn't figure out what was going on inside of me. Finally, I told my best friend Galaxy how I was feeling. And she said maybe I was just bored. So we did something about it. So that's number 3. Talk to someone. Why is it so important to know how we're feeling? I mean, what would happen if we just let those feelings go free? Oh, that's not good. Well, expressing emotions is good, and experiencing them is normal. Controlling them is important too. Curious, I know that has a cool phrase. What's the phrase? Emotional intelligence. Let's say that together. Emotional intelligence. That's like saying your feelings have brains. They know how to keep us steady and calm so we don't go too far and become destructive or out of control. Controlling your emotions just means that you don't let them go too far. That you have them, you accept them, but then you maintain some sort of self-control. Curious, how can we control our emotions, especially strong ones like anger? Are there special tools, Curious? If you can't immediately control your anger, you can 1. Take a deep breath. 2. Taking a second may help relieve some of that boiling hot feeling inside. If that doesn't work, 3. Take more than a breath. Count to 10 slowly in your mind. You may have to walk away if counting doesn't work. That gives you more time to clear your mind. Finally, number 4, use your words. Not loudly, and very calmly. Say, I am really angry, and then say why. This is the best way to handle our anger. When we hurt someone in anger, either with our hands or feet or words, it only creates bigger problems. If at times you can't use your words because you're still too mad, you can always do an activity like cleaning your room. The anger will give you extra energy to do it, and you will have accomplished something great. Or you can go play outside and use up all that angry energy on an activity that is good for you. Or listen to loud music and dance. Or soft music and relax. Anger is a necessary emotion. We can't help that we get angry, but we can help how we express it. Nobody is happy all of the time. Some of the greatest works of art have come from someone who is angry, sad, or afraid. That's the point. If we can make good things come out of our more difficult emotions, then we're on the right path. When we come back, we'll talk about how to identify emotions in others and what role emotions play in our lives and why they're so important. But first, it's time for another Nova quiz. This one is a visual. Look at these faces. Which one looks cautious? A, B, C. See if you can think of the answer. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Kids Planet. We're back. Let's continue our incredible adventure, time for the answer to our Nova quiz. Remember the pictures of the other Kids Planet kids? Which one looks cautious? A, B, C. One of these kids looks cautious. Do you know which one? If you said C, you're right. What were the other two? I think that A looks very happy. And I think B looks like he needs a nap. We should know how others are feeling around us because that makes us more aware and more helpful if we need to be. Have you ever seen someone be super sad or angry, and then you said something or did something that helped them? How can we figure out how others are feeling? Curious? Oh, definitely. Look at how they're moving. Those are called nonverbal cues. That's also called body language. That means we can tell how they're feeling by how they move or how their body is reacting to things around them. They're kind of speaking with their bodies. Sometimes bodies get very tight and stiff when we are unhappy, but very loose and relaxed when we're feeling happy. I think we kind of get the idea about how to tell how others are feeling. But why is that important? For one, we might be able to help someone. Might it also keep us safe? Identifying how others are feeling at any moment might tell us whether we should approach them or leave them to have a few moments to themselves. Anytime we can understand other people's feelings, we can create good feelings in all of us. It might also help us to know when our playful talking might feel like teasing to others, or if we say things unknowingly to hurt our friends. Why are emotions so important? They are the seeds that grow beautiful art, music, dance, and poetry. They make some ideas come to life and create leaders who work to create peace and help others. They are the glue that bonds us together as people. We all feel close to one another in a way because we all feel things. We know what it is to feel scared, or angry, or happy, or in love. For emotions to be helpful, we have to try and understand them and control them in a way so they don't become destructive. Emotions can make things better if we understand them in ourselves and in each other. Understanding emotions and learning to control them takes something called presence. Presence means being aware of yourself, your surroundings, and other people. That takes observing them, paying attention. Have you ever just sat and watched people? When we observe and learn, we understand more and can do more. You've learned so many things. Let's review. We've talked about so many emotions and how they make us feel. We've talked about emotions like love and anger and how they can create an autonomic reaction. That was our Big Planet phrase of the day. We learned that the best way to express our feelings to everyone is by using our words. We figured out the things we need to do to identify our emotions when we're not sure. Look in the mirror. Take a moment. Talk to someone. One super duper important thing that we learned is that when we're angry, we need to do 4 things. Can you remember what those things are? 1, just take a breath, maybe a few. If that doesn't work, 2. Count to 10. If that doesn't work, 3. Walk away. But the best thing is that when you're ready, you should 4. Use your words. Thanks, Curious. This is a big world full of people and other wonderful living things. We all experience some sort of emotions, and everyone has a different way of expressing those. If we can identify how we feel and express those feelings in a kind way, then we can get along nicely with others. Live in the moment of each day and pay attention to the surroundings and the people around you. You'll be surprised how much you learn about yourself and about others. Love, anger, sadness, happiness, joy, surprise, loneliness, fear, all have a place in this world. If we really pay attention to our feelings and learn to express ourselves in a calm and kind way, we'll be able to do anything. Before we end today's mission, we have to make a quick stop for our interplanet trivia. And we're going to need some help. Why don't we call my best friend Galaxy? Yay, Galaxy! You're here! We learned a ton about our emotions today. Emotions are the feelings we have inside. It can feel like a lot because our emotions can change quickly and sometimes unpredictably. All of our emotions come from inside us, and the more we let ourselves feel, the easier it will be to identify what we're feeling and why. It's important to communicate our feelings with others, especially when they make us sad. All right, now that we've reviewed, let's test our knowledge. Can you help us figure out which of these scenarios would make Galaxy happy? Is it this one? Galaxy has to present in front of her entire class. She has practiced and made sure to be prepared, but she is still feeling a little nervous. Or is it this one? Galaxy's mom saved her a slice of her favorite cake for her after-school snack. That looks yummy. Or could it be this one? Galaxy forgot that she had homework due at the beginning of class. When she arrived and the teacher asked her for it, she didn't have it. Uh-oh. Do you think you know the answer? Here, Galaxy is looking a little nervous. She knows that she'll do well because she practiced, but she can't help but feel a little jittery about having to stand up in front of the whole class. Here, Galaxy looks pretty happy. She was surprised with her favorite dessert, cake. And here, well, Galaxy looks disappointed. She didn't mean to forget about her homework. She'll just have to pay more attention next time. This must mean that the answer is the cake. When Galaxy got home and found a slice of her favorite cake, she was ecstatic. What a nice surprise from her mom. Way to go, Galaxy's mom. As we grow up, we're going to feel and experience many different emotions. This is awesome because we'll learn how to appreciate them in ourselves and in those around us. Emotions are awesome. Now it's time to say goodbye, but don't be sad. Be happy, because we'll see each other again soon, right here, in the best place in outer space, Kids Planet. See you next time.